This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter.
Yo, what's up? You know, it's been 3 years since I did a 1,000 kilometer challenge with ID Buzz. Okay, I did one with a trailer, but at least the regular ID Buzz, right? That was rear-wheel drive. This is different. This is all-wheel drive. It's the long version, the long wheelbase, GTX all-wheel drive, and it has now 91 kilowatt-hour battery. So over the years, Volkswagen, they improved the car and made it faster, right? Well, how much faster? Last time it was 10 hours and 30 minutes. Can we beat it today with, well, a slightly bigger, longer car, but bigger battery and faster charging? This is 200 kilowatt, but it might overheat. We'll try, yeah. There's only one way to find out. Just gonna test it. So yeah, I like the color. And then this is a 7-seater. See here, plenty of space. Yeah, also a third row over there. And then in the front. Ah, nice. Well, okay, so car's gonna claims 84.1 kilowatt hour now at 100%. So the plan is to just drive south. We do the Swedish route. Let's see. Here, go to the map. And then we just drive south. I'm not sure where we're gonna stop first. Hopefully we can make it to Spekkerød, right? We can always try to navigate and see what happens. Yeah. Wonderful navigation here. We already see Ioniq there. Oh, the car claims we can make it there, okay. How many percent at arrival? 27%. Okay, let's go. We are now at Hogstorp. Wait, what happened there? Getting 193 kilowatt, 194. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's kind of capped at 500 amp. I think the car cannot take more, even if there's more available. Yeah, I mean, the supercharger has more, but eventually we get 200 kilowatt. But actually, with these batteries, the 91 kilowatt hour, you don't want the temperature to be too high. It's gonna rapid gate. So you actually want to arrive with around 10%. Yeah, if you arrive with 1%, that's bad. Yeah, believe it or not. Well, okay, all good. We managed to get over here, but the car, I mean, the van is, I wouldn't say thirsty. It's actually fairly efficient for a van. So if you look at the you go here and then, wait, am I lost? It's here, it's here. Yeah, you see, I need to check also something else here. I have to check for distance error. Okay, at least now I have a little break. You see, next stop is going to be Ioniq Varberg, 152 kilometers away. And then I use a ABRP planner, good old ABRP planner. It's very useful. I have input the ID Buzz, it supports it here. Also, okay, ABRP planner claims that we will spend 55% of the battery. I want to arrive with 10%, so we should charge to 65%, and that should be okay. But you see here, as long as the cooling and everything is going as it should be, you see here, this is battery flow, and this is AC compressor. I turn off HVAC. Then it cools down, but eventually, I don't remember, I think when we hit 50 or 51 degrees Celsius, then the rapid gets, but now we get 200 kilowatt. Nice and flat. This is awesome charging speed. It's faster than the old ID Buzz that hit around, I think around 180 kilowatt. I'm not sure. It was 3 years ago. I watched my own videos, but yeah, the old ID Buzz at 50%, I was reduced to only 100 kilowatt. Here, as long as we don't rapid gate, then it goes a lot faster. Yeah. There, 65%. We're good to go. Let me check here. The car estimates, oh shit, sorry, too bright. Car estimates we arrive with 20%. According to ABRP planning, we arrive with 10%. You see now the battery is still hot. I did not leave the car. I I just sat in the car waiting for it to charge, so the AC compressor won't mess up, because if you leave the car and come back, it will actually temporarily stop, and that heats up the battery. But this was a 21.5-minute charging stop. Okay, let's go. All right, I see that we have 900 amp discharging limit now. So the battery already cooled down to 48 degrees Celsius. So this is the 340 horsepower or the 250 kilowatt, GTX. Let's wait for the bus. I need some space here. I wait for the other bus there. Okay, let me try it. Floor it. Oh, it goes schnell. 270 kilowatt. Oh yeah, full power. No power limit there at least. Oh, that's awesome. So now it's going to cool down the battery for the next leg. So yeah, it's a long drive now, 150 kilometer. Yeah, 150 kilometer until Varberg. So hopefully we won't see any overheating at Varberg, right? Right? We're now at Varberg, and I have to be quick. So I know that when we start charging, it will not run any cooling at all for the first few minutes. You see, we're gonna get almost 200 kilowatts. So I have to hurry and go to the gas station and then come back. And then I won't disturb the cooling because the cooling technically hasn't started yet. Right? So it's kind of crazy you have to do this. Hopefully Volkswagen engineer will fix this. But here we go. Right, AC actually started a little bit already. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's go. I went to the restroom, peed, bought 2 bananas. I need more bananas for the banana box test. And now we're back, and yes, I made it here before the battery went too hot. So, but I noticed that when I opened the door, the AC compressor here didn't drop to 0. So maybe eventually we need to test it. Maybe not now, but not now is kind of critical, but maybe towards the end when we are finished with the charging. Well, look at that, 200 kilowatt at 35%. Oh yeah, nice and flat curve. So I arrived with 9%, and according to ABRP route planner, it should be around 10 or 11%. So ABRP route planner is highly accurate because it takes weather and lots of other factors into account. So next stop, I'm not sure yet. I will consult ABRP route planner again, but we're gonna go to this turnaround point, which is around here. And then I might go to Halmstad. Or wait, can I make it all the way to Falkenberg? Wait, I was doing my trip planning here at ABRP route planner, and I think we're gonna go for turnaround point and then Halmstad. Yeah, spend 50%. Okay, I need to jump to at least 60%. Might go for 65 again. But suddenly I looked over here and I see that this time the battery did not hit 50 degrees that fast yet. It seems to hit 50 degrees slower, or 51. So this time we get a flatter curve. Previous stop, it dropped quite sudden to 125 kilowatt and stayed there flat for a while until it throttled again at around 55%. So now we don't rapid gate. Huh? Awesome. You can see on the Ioniq screen that we charged from 9% to 47% in 11 minutes. That is schnell, yeah. Interesting. On the previous session, we went from 7 to around 66 or 67%, but it took almost 22 minutes. This time, it seems to be around 19 minutes. There, or 20. So it seems like we are around 1 to 2 minutes faster than the rapid gate session. And I'm going to test something else here. Okay, so you see now auxiliary consumer 4.2 kilowatt is going for the cooling supposedly. AC compressor is at 5,500 RPM, and then battery flow pump is 80%. I'm going to test if leaving the car and then locking it down. I can see it there. Okay, lock it like this. And then when I unlock Will it stop the pump? It doesn't. Oh, they fixed it. Okay, that means I don't need to do all the, I mean, I can leave the car and come back and it won't mess up the things. Okay, did they actually fix this? Because before it would stop briefly and then ramp up again, which is not good. Okay, we can test it later. Next stop then. We're now at the concrete surface at Falkenberg, and yeah, we have Continental what's it called? Eco Contact 6Q. So, and they're 20-inch. So, yeah, I guess it's okay sound level. Let me move over to left lane. Some metal is rattling in the back there because of vibration. You hear it's better. I wonder if I had 21-inch on one of the earlier buses and they felt noisy. So, I mean, it's okay, yeah. Eventually I need to measure this in the regular stretch near cleavage. But actually, on the right lane, that thing in the back just rattles and creates this little metal rattling sound. But on the left lane, it doesn't happen. So I'll just hug the left lane then. We are almost at Falkenberg. At least we made it here, but 6% state of charge. It's not ideal. It might be 5% by the time we get there. But let me show you guys the consumption. 358 watt-hour per kilometer. Holy macaroni, that is high. But it's a van after all, and we've been hammering it. We are now at Falkenberg, and even though this shouldn't be an ideal position, this time the AC started immediately. Wait, did Volkswagen tune the software? Because previously it wouldn't do that. Okay. We'll see if it rapid gates or not. If it rapid gate, it should happen at around 30 to 35%, and then it's going to go quite, it will drop quite significantly. We'll see. Okay, but next stop now is going to be actually Spekkerød. Let me see here. No. You go here, navigation. Okay, and then zoom out a bit, and then you find Spekkerød, which should be around here. There, Stenungsund, yeah, that's it. There I found it. So, but actually on purpose, I don't want to navigate to Ioniq. I just want to navigate to Circle K. So I don't want the car to preheat. And I don't think it will pre-cool anyway. There, 137 kilometers away. Well, that should be easy, right? I think I pre-calculated that I need to charge around 65%. I'll double check with about the route planner anyway. Well, this is interesting. When I leave the car, you see the AC compressor speed, 1900 something. Battery's at 47 degrees Celsius, it's getting full speed. See, and then previously, if I would do this, lock, right? I would check, it's still 2100 now, and then I unlock and get inside. It would just be, boom, stop the thing, okay? I have turned off HVAC at least, I don't want to mess with that part, but it doesn't stop the cooling anymore, huh? Is this a coincidence? Or did they actually fix this? This is wonderful because now it keeps the temperature at bay so it doesn't go too high. Previously, it would stop the cooling temporarily and then start ramping up, but it would take a minute, but that minute means that the temperature would spike past 51 degrees Celsius and then it rapid gates. This time, it actually doesn't rapid gate. Wonderful! It's time to pop the Palestine cola. Wait, what is it called again? Yeah, it's not Coke, but I think that's registered or trademarked, but let's see. Wait, no, what happened to the lights? There. Oh, I kept it nice and cold. But it turns out it does rapid gate, but just slightly. So even though the cooling started, it should have been slightly more aggressive because we hit 51 degrees Celsius this time. Previously, by the time we hit 51 degrees, we would be at 50 or 55%, and then it would naturally throttle anyway. But I mean, the worst was at the Hogstorp. Then we throttled down to 125 kilowatt. Here it was a more gentle throttle. So it means that ideally we want to arrive with 10% or maybe 9%, but not 5%. Right, we have 65%, but that should be enough. And let's check now. How long did it take? 21 minutes. Oh, okay, let's go. Man, what are the chances? On the way south, we had headwind. And then when we turned around, went back north, the wind changed. So now we have headwind on the way back also. Shit, so that is bad luck, bad timing rather. Yeah, just bear that in mind, that we've been running against the wind now in the 120 zone. So, okay, that's not ideal. Right now the consumption is 600 watt-hour per kilometer. Okay, but it's on the peak right now. So, well, not much we can do about the weather, right? We are now at Speckeret. Yeah, all good, but we arrived with 13% this time. So I don't want to see any rapid gate this time. Okay, next stop is going to be Ioniq Strømstad. So it should be fairly easy to find it here. I know it's roughly here-ish. Yeah, you see? Zoom in a bit and then we see it. Many other navigation, you have to zoom in so far to see that waypoint. But actually, I want to, on purpose again, avoid going there. Okay, there. Avoid going to the fast charger because I don't want it to preheat. I don't think it will pre-cool, but okay, whatever. All good. Let me see. Then I need to consult a better route planner again to see how many percent I need. Okay, we need to spend 48% according to your better route planner. So if I charge 60, that should be fine. Maybe even 55% would be fine. Sun is up. It's Sunday morning. Yeah, finally, Circle K. I can get some rest here or food or whatever. And then here you see the GTX. It's long. Yeah, you see that they have utilized the space very well because it has a short nose. No last, and also it's a 5-meter car or van with plenty of space. Wait, I have to hurry. This is going to be a quick stop, maybe 15 minutes only. I went to Circle K, grabbed this, went to the restroom, and now we're at 63%. I need only 58. I need to go now. Okay, before I go, just do the marked veins. Okay, stop ticking around. We are now at Strømstad, Ioniq, last charging stop, but we arrive with 17%, and look what happens. We actually get 202 kilowatt. Wow. So I thought, oh, it's a disadvantage to arrive with too high state of charge, but it seems like it flattens it out and gets this nice little boost here to mitigate the disadvantage. Oh, nice. Plus that we will not overheat the battery, for sure. Okay, so last run now will be, oh shit, sorry, to home. So let me see, check here, map here. See if I just go, oh, I had it there. Well, I can just go like this and then home. But we need to drive a little bit past yes home. Okay, we don't get any good, oh shit, sorry for the overexposed, okay. We don't get any good estimation yet because we are charging, so wait a little bit. I guess I need to go to 70% and then we're good to go. Oh, man, yeah. Now we can see the ID Buzz in daylight instead. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a nice van. Well, at least for now, right? Until the Chinese arrives. Yeah, well, it's X9. Yes, Xpeng X9, but then Seeker 009 and Densa, no, not yet, maybe. So, yeah. But if you really have lots of kids, or I don't know, big family, or several generations that travels with you, then maybe this is the car for you, or the van for you, right? But it's funny because yesterday when I took the whole family on a family trip, well, it was at least 2 adults and 2 kids, I noticed that we had so much space here in the back, you know. Let me show you. For example, here, you know, and when I was dealing with the car seat here, I could just step up like this, right? And I still had the headroom, so I can get the leverage to do the stuff here and so on. And in the back, when they folded the 3rd row, we had so much space. And actually, when I then moved the car seat over to the Neo EL8, which is still a quite big car, the EL8 felt cramped. So that just to give you an example, or to give you a point that this is a very spacious vehicle. Okay, anyway, I need to stop talking because the charging is so schnell. So by the time I go to the restroom and come back, then we are almost good to go. Let me check now. How long are we charging now? Yeah, it's 6 minutes from 17 to 40%. And look at this. This is what, wait, can you see anything there? Let me just see. I need to check here. See? Can you see anything there? Yeah. This is what it's supposed to be when we are not rapid gating, or I mean when the battery is not overheating. 183 kilowatt at 41%. Yeah. Let me check the battery temp before we go inside the gas station. Yeah, look at this. Okay, sorry, it's a bit nerdy, but I'm obsessed about the whole battery and cooling. See here, even at 43%, we are only at 47 degrees. Why is this possible? Well, because we arrive at 17%. But ideally, Volkswagen engineers, they need to detect that we arrive at 5% and then kick in this AC, because it's actually quite slow now, or low. You see, 1.5 kilowatt only, 1900 RPM. They could kick it up to 5,000 RPM maybe, and this will be at around 4 or 5 kilowatt earlier, right? Or cool more aggressively if you arrive with 5%, you know, that would solve things. Well, we're almost good to go. We went from 17 to 68% in 17 minutes. Wait, I almost get the impression that these charging stops are faster as long as you arrive with 10, somewhere between 10 and 15%, versus if you arrive with 5%. Okay, anyway, 18 minutes. Okay, now get ready. Let's get ready to go. 69%, nice round number. All right, back on the road. So this is going to be the final run. We will drive actually quite far, around 180 kilometers. But yeah, the way it works time-wise is that we take the current time plus 46 minutes. That will be the 1,000 kilometer time. So we're getting close to the 9-hour mark. And then when it comes to distance, this car underreports distance by 0.8%. So we have to count to 992. Yeah. All right. Now we hammer it towards Norway and home. Yes, home to my family. Yeah. All right. At the border, there was actually border control for once. And I had to wait behind a Hungarian van. The toll guys needed to check. And then he asked me about, where have you been? I was like, oh, I went to Hollandsåsen, it's down there somewhere. And then I went back and he was like, oh, okay, are you working for Møller? Because I said, this is a press car from Møller. I said, no, I'm a YouTuber, Teslabjorn. And I said, oh, okay, he doesn't know me. I was like, okay. And then he asked me, did you purchase any goods? I'm like, no, I bought hot dogs and snack and drinks on the way. And he probably saw my camera equipment. He's like, okay, have a nice trip. Okay. But yeah, that was 3-minute delay. So that means that we take the current time now plus 40, we have to correct for it, yeah, 43 minutes. Yeah, no way, whatever. Once we count down, you will see the time and so on. Okay, let's count down, a bit late. 9993, 9994, 995, 996, 997, 998, 9999, 1000. Time 9:36 plus it becomes 10 hours and 19 minutes or 10 hours and 20 minutes. Wow. And then the consumption was 322 watt-hour per kilometer before correction. Wow, not too bad. Yeah, bravo, bravo. I have to check, but I think this is the fastest van ever tested. Huh? A new record to Volkswagen. I have 7% left. Wait. I need to go home. Do I? Langsam. Ding. Wait, home. Go. Hilfe? Okay, 3% at home. No problem. Always go deep with Uncle Bjorn. Bonus material. Let's check the weight of the van. According to the car's documentation, it's supposed to be 2.9 ton with a driver. 1460. That's the weight of a BMW i3. Okay, the whole van. Whoa. 2920. Okay. It was actually not that much over. Let me just move it. Is it still 2920? Yeah. Okay. Many cars I test, they actually tend to be up to 100 or 150 kilograms heavier than the documentation, but this seems to be right on par with that. Also, keep in mind that I have some equipment here. Sorry, I have a little bit of equipment here, but it weighs maximum 10 kilograms, maybe some camera stuff, some food, something. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, now we go home. I have 4% left. Oh shit! Right. So 1020. How fast is that? Well, it was 10-minute improvement over the short bus. Yeah, this is a long wheelbase bus. So the short bus, the rear-wheel drive bus, did it in 1030. But then it seems like it was more efficient, even though it was colder. So I believe that the GTX drivetrain here is causing maybe the consumption to go higher. But on the other hand, we have the more efficient ABRP 550 motor, which should be in use only when we are cruising, right? And the front is just sleeping. Versus the short bus probably use the ABRP 310 motor, which is less efficient. They still use them in other cars in the MEB platform, you know, that doesn't need that much power. So if we actually put the ABRP 550 motor in the short bus, it should actually be more efficient. But however, since this is a long version, that extra weight in the back with the extra seat and that metal, whatever, you know, the spreadsheet, that should also cause the consumption, rolling resistance to go up. But then maybe the drag part is not that much affected. So overall, yes, the long version, the GTX, is less efficient, but because we have a bigger battery and we charge faster, then it becomes quite fast. So this is actually the fastest van ever tested. So new record. But I see that the second fastest is the short bus, but then the third fastest, if you can count Maxus Mifa 9, is a minivan, you know. But it's also kind of big, and that one did it in 11:10, which is still a respectable time. And I remember it wasn't charging that fast. And then we have, well, it was the okay, the EQV, but it was really cold outside. So we haven't tested that many vans. Okay, there was a pizza van from pizza car from Nissan, but this is small, you know, like ENV 200 or even smaller. So then I don't really count. This is a proper van size, right? So maybe if you guys are interested, I should test some more vans out there. Maybe the Toyota van or some of the Stellantis cars. Well, okay, when it comes to the comfort, some people, they actually want to switch up. Now I understand why the short bus didn't sell that well, because it was a 5-seater. What is the point? Because if you buy the 5-seater, it's kind of expensive. and then you still get only 5 seats, and then you get a shit ton of trunk space, but it's like it's not balanced. They could go for a Model Y or a Fat e-tron or an ID.5 or Skoda Enyaq instead, right? But suddenly when you have this 7-seater or 6-seater, that makes more sense, because then you didn't pull out and you have too many kids, and you need more space for passenger but also for cargo. So it actually makes perfect sense to go for this van or some of the other vans, of course, if you have too big family or you want to bring your second generation with you. So how is the comfort? I feel like the longer wheelbase makes it a better ride than before. And also, I'm not sure, but I need to measure the soundproofing if it's better or not. But overall though, I'm actually quite happy and impressed of how well it rides. I was thinking it would be more like a van. Okay, it still feels like a van, but it's like a mix between a van and an SUV, right? So it's not total van like maybe the EQV would be like, right? Or the e-Crafter. And they actually put a big enough battery, fast enough charging for it to be fast until Xpeng X9 comes and clears the table. Because I don't know too much about the X9, but I have estimated based on what I know about efficiency and stuff, and I estimated that the X9 will do it in around 9 hours and 20 minutes, 1 hour faster than this bus. So if Xpeng they're watching, let me borrow that X9. I'll test it and see if we can go that fast. But then we need 500 kilowatt chargers. Oh, I think maybe around 350 to 400 kilowatt charger will still be plenty. But okay, anyway, overall though, it's nice, this van, but my knuckles hurt. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's gonna be for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.